This week I decided to do a mailbag, and there was one question that really caught my attention. The question is about Shelby Harris and Jurrell Casey and what comes of them after the 2020 NFL season. The question was, will the rumored increase of the salary cap to $195 million allow us to keep both Shelby Harris and Jurrell Casey? And if you can only keep one, which one is sticking around? And it came from Braden Room on Twitter. This is a great question, but there are a lot of pieces that go into answering it for both parts of the question. First thing first is that the rumor of a $195 million salary cap would actually be a decrease in cap space. For the 2020 season, the NFL announced a salary cap of $198.2 million, which was lower than the $200 to $205 million projection. Every year, the projection always seems to be slightly more than what it actually ends up at. Additionally, with everything going on this year, the projections should be taken with a grain of salt. But a $195 million salary cap could see Denver keep both, but I think that'd be unlikely because of other variables. You see, Denver also has Justin Simmons as an impending free agent. They have some big restricted free agents, the draft, and of course, outside free agents to allocate for. Right now, with a $195 million cap, Denver would roughly have $43 to $44 million of cap space to work with. With taking care of Simmons, restricted and exclusive right free agents, and setting aside for the draft, that number really drops to be about $15 to $20 million. Of course, a lot would depend on how they structure the Simmons deal if they get a deal done, or if they just end up franchise tagging him. That doesn't leave a lot of money to retain both Shelby Harris and Jurrell Casey, but only one of the two. And that brings me to the second part of the question about which one of the two to keep. Well, that's actually pretty simple when you look at all the factors involved when building a roster. You look at age, cost, medical history, and performance, and Shelby Harris wins in each of those categories. Harris will be expensive to keep, but Casey can free up an additional $12 million of cap space if he's let go. So letting Casey go and keeping Harris could see a net gain of cap or only a slightly higher loss depending on what the deal is for Harris. On top of the financial side of things, Harris is younger and not coming off a major injury, also seems he's entering his prime. That points to Casey being the odd one out who is on a downward slope of his career with a significant injury. So while they could keep both, it seems really unlikely they do, and Harris should be kept over Casey. As always, there is a lot that can create significant changes between now and free agency, but that's just how it looks to me at this time. For Mile High Huddle and Sports Illustrated, I'm Eric Trickle.